Hello and namaste, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to the first ever Women's Forum as part of the IACA Festival of India. I'm going to be your host, Manisha Verma, and we have a great lineup of events for you today. A little bit about me. I'm a business consultant in the financial services industry, and contrary to popular belief, I am 100% Indian. And I even took 2 genetic tests to prove it to myself. And I originally come from Punjab. My family moved here when I was 10 years old. And I come from a very proud lineage of freedom fighters and social activists who dedicated their lives to the cause of Indian independence. So needless to say, this celebration is very special for me. And that's the very idea behind IACA and Women's Forum, in that Indian Americans have a unique history, a unique way of being. And in this culture, there's a new way of being. We are able to celebrate both Indian and American Independence Day with a similar level of appreciation and enthusiasm. Being a woman of Indian origin in America presents even more unique life experiences with mixed and often conflicting cultural values and expectations. So the Women's Forum was started about a year ago with the goal of providing a platform for Indian American women that focuses on 3 pillars: empowerment, leadership, and sisterhood. So today we have a lineup of panels and events for you that we hope you will find resourceful. We'll start off with the Women's Entrepreneurship panel, and then Navigating the Workplace, and then our keynote speaker, Tina Shah, former exec at Warner Brothers Discovery Sports, will do the keynote address, and then we'll have some activities in a sisterhood circle, and followed by Raksha, Keeping It Real with Raksha, and then finally, we have a panel on financial preparedness.
I welcome Tina Shah. You have taken all your time and to come here. It's very sweet of you to accept our invitation. And all of you who are going to be your speakers on today, thank you all. Thank you so much for coming. And our president, Kaushal, even our man, Mr. Group, he came to encourage us, and thank you, Kaushal. And I'm going to leave now with Geeta and Suma and Jyotsna, who actually are the pillars of doing the whole women's show. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Manisha.
I'm sure it's going to be a great show, and I cannot wait to watch the video of it. So thanks for capturing this.
We both are going to go down.
Stay tuned, to learn more about what's happening with Women's Forum. There's more to come after this event. And these events it's not our business. This is a way of letting people know that we exist. Hey, we are here. Come and join this movement. Okay, before I turn it over to Jyotsna and Suma quickly, I do want to say we acknowledge the tragedy of Momita Debnath, I said the name right, her rape and murder. We are all very moved, and there's no words for what happened there. A little later in the afternoon, we have a very distinguished panelist, Aparna Bhattacharya, who's the executive director of Raksha. She's the expert in the area. She deals with these every day. And she will address this. We will have a moment of silence during the Women's Forum program, the rest of the Women's Forum program, so which will start at 2:30. Aparna's session is a little later, around 4:30 or 5. Please stay and invite your friends. That'll be a very powerful session in my view. And there's a lot more going on, as Manisha pointed out. So please invite your friends to Willow there. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Anuspita Bardhan, sorry.
Bardhan, you're right.
Bardhan, who will introduce the panelists and moderate the session. Anusmita is a fashion designer who hails from Kolkata and has been showcased in New York Fashion Week multiple times. Her boutique, Oitigio, The Tradition, has worked with notable figures like Abhay Deol, Hema Malini, Preeti Zinta, Miss World Diana Hayden, and Miss Universe Harnaz Sandhu. She also has a nonprofit called Mission Possible, which donates proceeds from sales of recycled items to charities. She has also won the Mrs. Bharat USA Award and enjoys mentoring others in her available time.
Thank you so much, Manisha. Thank you for a wonderful introduction. And thank you all for being here. It's a very exciting job for me today. Kind of a first time I'm interviewing these beautiful entrepreneurs over here. So I did Entrepreneur Forum before, but I was not the moderator, I was organizer. This time my role is different. So as you can see, I am wearing many hats and I'm loving those hats. So without taking much time, I'm going to introduce each of them and we are going to listen to their story. Thank you. And by the way, this is an interactive session, okay? If you have any questions for them, not the complicated one, please. They are anyway scared. So if you have any kind of questions you want to ask, please, we will give some time to you so you can ask them, okay? And we need some questions from you anyway. Thank you. So when I start this session, I would like to start with a different perspective of this one. We love to drink lemonade, right? Like some of us or all of us, maybe it's like a Nibu ki pani, lemonade, whatever you say. So we have it in two different ways. One, we go to the store and just buy it, right? It's bottled one, it's labeled one. Some are very pricey, some are not that pricey, like according to our taste. And we also buy something, sometimes we also buy from the lemonade stand. Both are same, because they are also buying the lemonade from the store and just mixing something with that and just buying it. But what is the main difference? The difference is the story. When you're going and buying the lemonade, you're actually interacting with them, right? So you know their story, you're listening to their story, and you're paying for that. Sometimes it's a little pricey than the store-bought one, or not that fancy, just like the store one, but the story. That is the main idea to buy from the lemonade stand. So we are doing something like that. We are bringing these beautiful entrepreneurs over here who always, or most of the time, work at the backstage, work at the back end of the whole event. But we want to know here how it is. Because, for example, if you're a photographer, we just tell them, can you please take a picture? Oh, no, this way and that way. But then nobody asks, once the picture will come, how you edit it, how much time you took. Same with the makeup artist, same with like the dance choreographer, everybody, we just see their service. But I don't know, do we ask them, like what was the story behind, or what is the story behind? I don't think so. So that's why we are doing this forum today, to listen to their story, and which can inspire you, me too. So, first I'm going to introduce Nandini Patel. As a wedding planner, she is the master of orchestrating love stories into timeless masterpieces. With a keen eye for beauty, an unwavering commitment to perfection, and a heart overflowing with love, she crafts dreams into reality, weaving together moments that will be cherished forever. Her creativity knows no bounds as she transforms venues into mesmerizing wonderlands, curate personalized experiences that capture the essence of each couple, and navigate the delicate balance between tradition and innovation. Her dedication to making dreams come true is unmatched, as she poured her heart and soul into creating unforgettable memories. She is also a renowned dancer and choreographer with 35 years of experience. See again, I don't know how old are you, like from the beginning of your life? Her training includes Kathak, Bharatanatyam, and Latino salsa, showcasing a rich blend of traditional and contemporary dance styles. In the realm of acting, she appeared in the Hollywood movie Origin, directed by the Oscar-nominated Ava DuVernay, as well as in the movie Indian Sweet and Spices, further broadening her artistic portfolio. Recently, she ventured into writing and directing, with her latest project being a drama that is very exciting to share with the audiences. We're looking forward to that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our last panelist is, last but not the least, Swati Chenruri. She came to US in 2010 to pursue masters by profession, working as software engineer. She is also part for a non-profit organization, which is Telangana American Telugu Association, TTA, serving as Women Committee Advisor and Atlanta Board of Director. Using TTA platform to serve back to the community, also conducted Women's Day and various events to empower women. Also, she recently founded Dawson Lake Gardens, which is a dhaba-style Indian restaurant and event hall. Thank you so much for coming. So as you can see, we have these beautiful panels over here. Now they are at the hotspot, right? So it is time for me to ask some questions to them. And let's see, let's hear their experience and all those pros and cons while they were in this field. And if somebody wants to start it, what they can do and how they can do. That is our main agenda for today's forum. So let's start. I'm going to go one by one first, so that others will get enough time to prepare, and then we will do the group one. I prepared well, huh? So I have everybody's question. Yeah, there's a few cards.
We are not prepared though.
And it's such an easy one. Such an easy one.
We go with the flow.
Yeah. Actually, the hard one will come from you all, the audience.
Yeah.
I will give you the easy one. So, Nandini, your question is, and it's a very common question, but it's a very important one. Like, how and when did you start this event management, the wedding planner? More of you're like an event planner now. You were an event manager, I think, and then you switched to only weddings, mostly, right? So, why, how, when? Can you please tell us?
First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for taking precious time out of your afternoon, especially leaving your home family behind and, looking at all us. We are nobody, we are just like you. So thank you, IACA, to giving us, who are a force behind the doors, to give an opportunity to be here and speak in front of you guys. For me, again, same as all these ladies and all of you guys, we all wear multiple hats in everyday life. I don't think so in this hall, anybody only do one job or one thing. We are mothers, we are sisters, we are entrepreneur, we are caretaker, we are socialite, we are fashionista, we are everything. So to answer your question that how did I began with your support, your help. There was a day when somebody came to me like, you anyway do take care of the events naturally. Why don't you make that your career? I'm like, no, who's gonna pay me to do their events? Like, so it just started with one person coming to me and telling me that I can do it. And I think that gave me the confidence, and so like, okay, fine, if I can do it and if people are willing to need my help and take my help, I will be happy to do that. So I think it just started with people telling me I can do this. And I am always going to be grateful for that, because I had sisters who helped me, pushed me, and told me that I have that potential. So yeah, just start when you feel like you are ready.
And can you share, like, what was the first one, like the paid event you did? How big it was?
It was big. I actually started with wedding. one of my friends said like, oh, my daughter is getting married. Can you help me? Because you're always the one person who comes in puja and start doing dishes, making sure the pujari gets all the puja items and everything. You're natural. Can you just help me with the wedding? And I started with not even expecting anything in return. I was like, yes, you kidding me? Yes, I can be a boss and boss around other people. I love that. So yeah, from there, and once I executed a flawless 5-day event with 1,600 people, I knew I am born to do this. So it was a group effort. I always say like, no person, no man or a woman can do it alone, because every successful man has a woman behind. I think even a successful woman has a man behind. He's still behind in the house, taking care of the kids. So yeah, it happened with that, and I did got paid for it. And then I realized that it is a market where I can venture in, and thank God I did.
And you're doing wonderful. I see her in multiple events always, and I get fascinated the way she does her work. So it is very commendable. And as she was saying, of course, her husband is also there most of the time. He is also another driving force, I guess, to you.
Yes.
So when I always talk about women empowerment and women forum, we should not forget the men. Yeah, because sometimes they get neglected too. So we should not neglect them. We should keep them, like not keep them. We be like side by side, right? Yeah, of course, side by side.
Exactly.
Yeah, side by side.
With us.
With us,
Exactly.
yeah.
And we don't need a forum to say how good we are. It's just we're here to say, show it to other women or other people that if I can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nandini. Krati, next is you. So, mic in the right place.
For being here. Excuse, I have like little allergies kick in just this morning, so I'm like wiping myself out. Thank you, Anushmita, for reaching out.
Of course.
And thank you, ISTA, for having us all here. And I'm so proud that where I am and how I manage my kid. I would say I don't manage my kid. My kid manages with me. Because the timelines being in an entertainment industry is always all over the place. And when you have a little one, then of course they demand your time. But at the same time, I think my daughter has been so mature enough. She's sitting right across there. So she's so mature, and she has been always my supporting force and someone who always cheers me up. Like I'll go to work in the morning and she'll be like, you look so awesome. You're an amazing manager. You're doing great. And literally on my fridge, there's a thing written, you rock. So every time I open my fridge, I'm like, okay, that's my daughter. That's my support. So
Because
yeah,
sometimes moms, we feel sometimes guilty, right?
always, always.
But overcoming that, because I get to, sometimes I mentor, when I mentor, so sometimes the girls come, the women come and they say, you know what, I have a small kid, how I can do this and that. So again, they are another driving force. We as a mom, the way we will teach them, they will learn the same way. They will learn the same way to respect our work, just like we are respecting theirs, right? We take them to the classes. If they are sick, we are the one who take care of them. So they will learn the same thing if we can show them. And again, men, right?
Yeah.
There's another part of it. Like always, we have to show them how to manage it. And we don't have to be the heroes, like who can do everything, who got everything. I don't think so. We can show our flaws and they will understand and they will support us like that too.
I mean, I don't call my husband the second half. He's the first half. If he's not there, then it's going to be very difficult to literally get out of the house and do what I do. I don't get even like a single day off. And managing with that, my husband and daughter, they have been doing a great job. So thank you, you guys.
Thank you. Indrani,
Hello everyone.
thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me actually.
Is this the first time
This is the first time I'm on any stage like this. So it's
You're always
really
behind the camera.
overwhelming. Yeah, I'm always behind the camera. I'm a photographer. So I'm always behind the camera and capturing all the events, capturing all the moments. And I'm sure like my husband is capturing this moment right now because as you said like earlier, like behind every successful man, there is a woman. But I would say that behind me, not behind me, he is always with me. Like he is the person who has pushed me this far, that I'm owning a business. Like I never expected, I never dreamed this for. But I have this business, and I'm running this for like past 8 years now. So it's really like creditable. Like he's always there. Like any photographer, like you may know, like it's covering a whole event is a huge thing. Like in an event, any event, you will expect more than 200 people, and covering the whole event single-handedly is difficult.
So who inspired? Sorry to like cut you.
Inspire, it's all like this whole thing, everything is him, like my husband. Like I used to edit pictures, like I was into editing, more editing. I worked in media, like I used to work for them, like editing pictures. I used to take care of their pages and everything. So I know, like I knew how to edit, right? Then he was the person like who was into cameras. Like, okay, so, you know, coming to US, like few years, like I'm sure like everybody went through that phase when you cannot work here. Like you have come as dependent visa, so you cannot work. And then you know, lose belief on yourself. Like, okay, what should we do? Like, because I used to teach, like I was a teacher back in India, like I have masters in computer application. I did my graduation in mathematics, so I used to teach there. And coming here, like 8 years I sat doing nothing. So it was very hard during those time. Like I was thinking like what I should do to kill my time, you know. So my husband is the person who pushed me, like, you know, editing, right? Like, let's think about it. Let's start doing this. And since he knew all about the cameras, he taught me everything. Like, he used to come with me. Like, he used to take pictures. He used to teach me, like, this is how you will take, this is the... Like, creativity was always there in me, but he's the person who encouraged me, who pushed me, like, you can own this business. You can run by yourself. Like,
You are doing it beautifully. So how many, I have another question for you. What is the highest number of people you captured in one event? Like what was the highest number?
300, like, during a wedding. Yes.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. And another question I have for you, I know in the job interview sometimes you ask people, but I want to ask you, so there's so many photographers, right? We have over here also,
one.
right? We have one
Already?
over there. Thank you. So where you want to see yourself after 5 years?
Like, good question. Like, after 5 years, I am seeing myself teaching new photographers. The knowledge I have, I want to give them. I want to, you know, run some workshops for them, because I know, like, after 5 years, there will be 100 more photographers. Like, but newcomers, I want to teach them. Like, whatever knowledge I have gained from my husband, from all the
Paternity, the photography.
yes, like everybody, like I have been learning throughout. So whatever knowledge I have, I want to give them back. You know, like they should know the technique and how to start. And like when I started, it was like little vague, like I was lost in somewhere. But now I know, so I can teach them, and they will have better knowledge of that. So
That's a wonderful idea. That's a wonderful idea. And that's exactly what happened with me. So in 2019, when I won the crowns, so everybody's asking, what's next? Where are you going next? Like South Asia or this and that? I say, you know what? Let me do something different. Because my co-pageant sisters, they were asking me after I won, what you are doing, how you are doing. I said, okay, maybe I can take a different route
yes,
and I can help them.
of course.
Because it's not easy always, right? Creating the platform and helping others with your experience.
Yes.
It is also something I think the newcomers,
Be a mentor.
yeah, be the mentor, so they also love it. I have some over here actually. So now that's why I started doing the pageant, not for any other reason, but to mentor and give them a little platform to show how it could be.
Absolutely.
And sharing our like experience, right? That matters a lot too. So I'm glad that is your plan. So there's a lot of other photographers will be beneficial. Yeah, of course.
What I know, I want to give
just
them.
share.
Share. Sharing is caring.
Always, always. So Swati, we know that like nobody is interested what you are believing in, right? Why? Until you're showing what you believe in. So that is very important. If I will go to somebody and then they reject my idea, sometimes we feel bad, right? We feel rejected, of course. But why? Why they will believe in us? We have to show them, like, this is what I'm going to do. And yes, I have full confidence in it. And you showed that. So how this came to your mind, like you're going to own a place and then the restaurant, because it is not very common, a woman entrepreneur. They are opening a beautiful event space and the dhaba style restaurant, what you did. So what was your idea, what you believed in, and why this happened? And we are glad it happened.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Thank you. First of all, thank you everyone for joining for this panel. And thank you IACA and Anushmita for inviting me to this panel today. Thank you. Yes, Anushmita, when I got this opportunity, we saw the space and it's really not close to coming or where Indians live. So I took that as a challenge, and my husband always supported me. Like without the family's support, nothing is possible. So we started in last December, and we have to renovate few things. And we started with the concept of event hall, because we have a beautiful indoor and outdoor space. We thought that would really go well by having the concept of event hall. And we got all the approvals sometime in March, and then people, like, we are getting so many requests, but everyone thought like it's very far from the place, and we are getting a lot of judgments from so many people. That was so crucial, but we never gave up. And then like we realized, okay, we have so much of space, and why don't we start with a new concept of dhaba style Indian restaurant, because we have a beautiful outdoor space. And then like we just started with that concept, and we saw very good response from the people. It's something like we should always have a backup plan. It's not something we always go with the same what we think. So it really changed now, and we are really doing very well. And this is just a beginning of my entrepreneurship career, and I'm still facing so many challenges, but I'm learning from what I am facing. And I have beautiful people around me supporting me, and even Anushmita, like she's hosting an event on August 30, she's supporting me like in all her ways. Thank you.
Thank you. We always, as we say, we always care and we share. So that's what we do. We can uplift each other in so many ways. Not always only being there, but just word of mouth. That also works wonder. Like as you can see over here, sometimes they also work together, right? So, and it's not like that they are talking every day. It's not like that, but they know where to reach, whom to reach, and they all come together and work together. And that is how this happens, because sometimes it says like women cannot work together. That's hard, but they do it.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's not true always. That's true.
And also I would like to add, and I'm proud to say that I'm able to provide employment opportunities to so many people here with our new restaurant and also the event hall. We have almost like 12 people working for us. So that's really giving me more satisfaction.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Swati. Coming to Pragna now. So we always say like our energy is our passion, right? From passion we get the most energy to do stuff. But here is a question. Apart from your passion, what was the other kind of energies or the like support or the driving support you get for doing this makeup and hair thing? Because you are working at Amazon, you have another career too, right? So this is another part, I guess. But we knew Pragna as a makeup artist for the longest time, trust me. And then she explored different areas, I guess. And that's how you are becoming like entrepreneur kind of thing, right? So what are the other strengths which helped you to proceed further?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anushmita, for first of all inviting me here. IACA, thank you for hosting this amazing event, calling all these entrepreneurs here. And thank you all of you for attending this event and listening to our stories. I would like to answer your question, but before that, I would like to mention something which we were discussing just before this when you asked the question to Josna. Swati something. I'm sorry, Swati. When you said that women don't work together, and I'm proud to say
That's a stigma. Actually, that's a stigma. Yeah, that's a stigma.
Exactly. But that's not true. Let me give you an example. I hired Prati as my hair artist for one of my events. I hired this beautiful lady, Indrayani, there as a photographer for my son's birthday. It's been a long time, yes. I have worked as a makeup artist on Nandini's projects. I have actually done makeup on this beautiful host here. Because her venture is new, I still have to visit your place, but I'll do that soon. So what they say that women don't work together.
To them, just talk 1 minute, spare 1 minute with them and see what happens. This is what happens when you encourage them, because that is a lot for them. To you, it's just a minute, but for them, it's a lot. So next time when you're getting any service from anybody, just say a thank you.
And also I would like to add into that, sometimes it's just not about your services, your quality services. It's also about how you make your clients feel. They will always remember how you have treated them apart from the quality you provide. So I would say have like a very lovely, candid interactions with them. If you behave rude or use some harsh language, they're not going to come back to you. So the treatment to the customer and vice versa is very important in this industry.
That's true. That's completely right. And it shows who cares for their service also, right? Sometimes we just do it, and that comes here comes a passion word, right? If you're not passionate enough, I was in IT too, but if you're not passionate enough, it shows. It shows in your work, it shows in your life, it shows in your face. Sometimes we don't make a lot of money, but the satisfaction, oh my God, that's priceless. That's priceless. And another thing, I always believe, if you start something and you believe in it and you have the passion, you will succeed. Nobody can put you down. Nobody. But remember, you have to make yourself comfortable enough to get the criticism and move on. Because there will be people who will support you, who will not. And that's okay. As I said, why somebody has an interest to believe in your beliefs, right? That's okay. But that actually drives me a lot. Sometimes when I got rejected, I felt, oh my God, I have to prove more than, I have to believe in myself more. So whatever you are doing, whatever you are planning to do, just do it. Don't wait. There is no tomorrow. I believe there is no tomorrow. Whatever you want to do it today. Kal hona ho. So that's my take always. So some of you create jobs for others, right? So that is wonderful. You are entrepreneur and you're creating jobs for others. That is beautiful, and the feeling is amazing. That was another thing I wanted to do too, and I'm glad I could do that. Because again, when we are doing something, let somebody else do the same thing, or let me help them to do it. So whenever we do it, we know what we are doing, right? We know what we are doing, of course, and how we are doing it. All those logistics, we know how to do it. But there's another question. Why? Profit is one thing, of course, but that is not the answer to why. The passion, the cause, the drive, and there may be some incident too. So any of you have that kind of special why? When you did that, when you started creating jobs for others, why you did that? Not only for profit. Anybody has Any, yeah, Nandini, you want to say something?
We're talking so much serious about all these, giving to the society, and it is there. But at the end of the night, we are all entrepreneur because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to prove ourselves that we are worth it. Being said that, giving opportunities when we receive opportunities is as equal as what you're doing. So it doesn't matter because somebody believed in me to prove that I can be who I am today. So same opportunity should lie with everyone. So sometimes, even if somebody is not hiring somebody personally under their businesses, that doesn't mean that they are not supporting another business. When I come to a makeup artist, even though she's not working directly under my company, again, when we say entrepreneur, because we are running a business. It is a business. It drives our paycheck to paycheck. We pay bills from that. Husband supports us. But at the end of the night, if you keep doing it for free, nobody's going to support you. So comes from helping each other, driving each other. So just creating opportunities doesn't have to be under your own company. Just creating opportunity, giving a lending hand when they need it, supporting them when they actually don't know if that is possible for them to do. Career changes, which, almost everyone, when we started, our parents have taught us one thing very important: study, 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 or else you're not going to be an IT professional or a doctor.
You have to earn. You have to earn.
Yeah, you gotta earn. So in that, sometimes these passions which we have, all of us has a passion inside us. Just being a speaker or just creativity of fashion or makeup or hair. These are all a side. I think all of us, being an Indian or Asian community, we all have faced this growing up, that we all had talent. We are amazing in singing, amazing in dancing, but that cannot be your career. So people who are in that position to say that, no, that can be your career is very important. So helping each other, not just paying them on your payroll, being supportive to them is very important than anything else. I think
That's true.
Just
And you know what? You reminded me something else too. When you said just not doing the makeup and walking, all those things, right? When we talk about it, sometimes people forget that is also somebody's bread and butter.
Yes.
So I face that, now people know me as a fashion designer. I do the fashion shows, I do the pageants. So there was a little girl who's my friend's daughter. So I was doing a friendly fashion show. It was in a community organization. So I said, why don't you give your daughter, right? So she can walk, because my daughter is there. My daughter is 10 and she goes there. She's a soccer player. She has no connection with this fashion world, but just to have fun, just to taste of that platform. So my friend, she's a very good friend of mine. She said, oh, no. She cannot just dress up and walk. She is not going to put the makeup on and go. Okay, that's not the thing which is going to happen. I paused. Her daughter is learning ballet. They have to do makeup and they have to be on the stage. So I said, your daughter is already doing it. What's wrong with it? It can be somebody's bread and butter. The modeling is a profession. Right? When you are at the pageant, you do something, you earn money. It is not only just you're walking, and it is not easy, first of all. It looks like it's easy. It is not easy if you're trying to do it in a right way. That is a fine line. If you're doing a right way, it is not easy. So when I asked her, then she could not give me any answer. And I question a lot people. When I don't get the answer, I question. So she could not answer. So this kind of stigma also, right? वो तो picture later, she just take the pictures, right? She just do walks. Some just do makeup and hair, just that kind of thing. So these stigma, we need to get over it. Because as you can see, they are all earning. So this is not only our passion, we converted it and we are earning from it, and some are creating jobs and then some are helping others to get money. So it is not only about the beautiful face and pretty outfits. It's not only about that. And if we cannot change it, it always says we need a social reformation, right? And from our beginning of our life, we are listening to that, right? Social reformation. When? It is a high time. We waited so long. It's 78 years of independence, right? We waited so long. When this will go, or at least be reduced, it will never go away, but it will be a little less so that they can be free and they can choose and they can respect every single profession, because every profession is very important to them.
And Ashwita, that's what it is. Like, when we keep saying when, but we are living proof. We are living proof. The crown, yes, we are doing it now. And that's, I think, achieving what we are is what we are changing. And that's what this platform is giving us, that the voice that we can change and who we are, we can be proud of what we are. And we are teaching that to our kids. I'm telling my son that there is I don't need your respect. I already got my respect because I respect myself. The only thing I need you to do is just be there. Because that's, we were all thanking our husbands before. I'll be very honest, there will be some people in the crowd who will, in the back of their mind, they're like, but I don't have that support system back home, because I don't. Even though he loves me, he will kill for me, but he might not understand why do I have to go to work at 4 a.m. in the morning and not come back for 2 nights, where I am doing what I'm doing, because he doesn't understand what I do. So support systems are really, really important, but
not necessary.
Exactly. It's who you are. If that's something you really need to be and that makes you happy, you have to fight and believe in yourself to do it. There will be people who will always support and be there. Maybe you don't see them. They're invisible, but you have to believe in yourself to do it at the end of the night.
And then another thing, I just recently was listening to some entrepreneurs and they were saying, when you decide what you want to do, and then surround yourself with those people who already achieved that, or maybe similar to that, that will inspire you more to achieve your goal. Maybe your goal a little different than them, but maybe the path is same. So that's also, I believe, as you said, like, surround yourself with the positive people first, and second of all, the people who are already there. It really helps, and it's really inspiring to see them, oh, okay, they did it. So I'm doing something right. So I think that is another thing, if we can start practicing it, it really helps. And create that world around you also. If you achieve something, create that, like just how they did, create that area, create that space for others. It really helps. It really helps. And of course, sometimes there is no support system, but that also makes you stronger, because you are by yourself. If you fail, it's on you. If you win, it's on you. So that is another I think driving force. Some has it. Yeah, sure.
So I feel as a woman we should be sometimes vulnerable and also talk about our challenges at the same time. Nandini mentioned very realistic thing that nobody gets that kind of a support. Some few people are very blessed. I know women are very giving in nature. Even we are sitting at the women forum, we are still keeping our husbands on the forefront, and they're not talking about themselves. But at the same time, when I come from a very academic background, and when I decided to step into doing this business, there was a big meeting with my family, my extended family, like what she's thinking, what she's going to do. I mean, she's an engineer. She worked for really big international projects. She has an MBA degree. She should pursue a nice sturdy career. Why she has to go door and door and do the makeup on people and earn money in pennies. So this is nothing compared to what I earn from my day-to-day job. But still, I get so much of pushback, not only from my family, my extended family, in-laws, and staying here in the US, we again have to do everything. We are mothers, we are drivers, we are cook, we are caretakers. Like we have so many added responsibilities. And top of that, when we decided to create a new career and start a new venture, is definitely a challenge. For me, at one point of time, I decided, when I was growing up, I listened to my parents. Okay, when I came into my early adulthood, I again listened to my parents and married to someone they wanted to. Okay, as you go through your biological cycle, I gave birth to my kids. I have done enough for others. Now this is my time to live. This is my time to find my passion and happiness, as everyone has the right to find their own happiness, and I'm going to do what makes me happy. I think eventually my family, not my parents were always supportive about that, but I'm talking about family like in-laws or extended family back in India. Still, they have a lot of feedback and comments to do. I'm sure all women here will agree with me on that. So convincing them through the work. So I'm not creating direct jobs through my business, but I'm kind of inspiring those kids or other girls that, hey, this is possible. You don't have to always think about others and put them in the forefront and not thinking about yourself. So maybe if you can even turn 5-10 lives like that, I think you still win there, and kind of creating another journey for them and path for them.
That's really true. And yeah, and you know what, before Krati says something, it is very true. For example, I had to face lots of hardship. So apart from that, let's talk about this funny thing. I won the crown and I post the picture, of course, all those fancy pictures. And then next day people were calling me, congratulating me. So what are you doing? I said, washing dishes. What's up? You are washing dishes? You just got the crown, and and like there were 32 participants when I won, and it was in New Jersey. So it was a lot for me because I've never been into this one. So if you think at the beginning, from the beginning of my life I was in high heels and this makeup, no. At the age of 34, I just started. I had my 2 kids by 30, so that was my plan. I got married early. So I said, okay, by 30, I will be done with my 2 kids because I wanted 2 kids always. And then when I was 34, this opportunity came and I grabbed it. It always says opportunities are always everywhere. You just have to grab it, right? So I said, nothing changed. It's me. Yeah, I have added responsibility maybe. There's some different path which is open for me now, but we don't neglect what we used to do. It's not about quantity, it's about the quality, right? Quality of work. We are still the mother. We still take kids to places. Soccer. I'm a soccer mom, so every other weekend I'm out of state. Another thing, my friends ask, oh, you're not here again. Which show you're doing? Again, I take a pause. As it's my son or daughter's soccer, I'm going there. So I go very less out of the state because of them, and that's fine. We are not complaining here. We are just trying to let you understand we don't neglect family. They are our priority, but our passion is also a priority too. So we try to balance, and it always says women can balance better than others. So we try to balance, but it is not because we are putting our family, in the back and we are doing our passion. We do both. Yes, Krati, you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something really simple. I know that we are talking about how we are creating job opportunities and helping them to go through their stories or create one. But don't you guys agree with me? When you have some passion and you find the similar people who share the same passion with you, it's fun to work with them. And it's not always about you're paying them, or it's not always about what they are giving you back in return. The only thing we need is that kind of enthusiasm and then the push. And when you just sit and talk about, did you see that choreography and how cool it was and they did this and that? Yeah, I mean, you can talk your language. It's so easy to connect with those people where you can talk your language and you can let them know that, how you went into this, and they understand. Because as we say, yes, our families are always on the forefront. There's so much goes behind the bars or doors, which we don't come up and tell you guys, okay, this is happening. Today I didn't cook a meal, and then, I was in a trouble for that. But I think this kind of support system also at workplace is much, much needed. And when you say about creating jobs, I think I'm just creating friends and creating solid support system to go forward with it.
That's true. Absolutely, absolutely right. Thank you. Now, I just want to take a little pause here and want to ask you all if any of you have any question for any of us.
Ask.
Any question? Any question? Crystal, you want to ask
Easy,
easy?
just be easy on us.
Yeah?
I am blind with a hard, tough question.
You want to ask something, Crystal?
I mean, I can.
Yeah, please go ahead. You need a mic?
Okay, I guess my question would be, thank you guys. You're all beautiful women. Thank you for sharing your stories. I guess how would you guys, or what are you guys doing to bridge the gap between passing down your legacy, so to speak, to the younger women or the girls who are, still trying to find out what they want to do in life?
That's true. So, anybody wants to answer that? Yeah?
I would say passing down the legacy is something which we always think about. But I think everybody is, you have to be a little experimental with it. It's never the first shot. It's never like, oh, I want to be this, and then you are this, and then you are done with it. I think it's always try and error and then figure it out. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to just not be seen. It's totally fine. I mean, the most important thing is to get ahead of your own self, because there will be people around you. There are like 10,000 people will telling you, oh, like as I struggled, because when I started dancing, I was 4.5 years old. Nobody cared because I'm a little kid. But as I grew up, everybody was like, dancing is not even a career. What you are talking about? And I felt always about that. I don't know. I just don't want it to sit on like a rocking chair in my porch when I'm turning 60 and thinking, dang, I didn't do that. Because I'm like, the age is gone. My probably joints will not even help me out at that point of time. So there's no point in regretting. Just try and err and see what works for you. Yes, you take inspiration. Of course, you go to the places, meet people who interest you in what you want to do. And that will give you more of experience and learning about the subject. And yeah, I think...
Like, you should love what you are doing. That is the first thing. Like, if you are having fun what you are doing and you know what you are doing, nobody can put you down. So if there are like 10 people who is trying to pull you down, there will be one person who is saying, good job. So that should be your reward. And that should be felt within you. Like, I have done something good, that is my reward, and I'm enjoying it. Nobody can, pull me down. So there will be hundreds of people who is trying to pull you down, and there can be just one who is encouraging you, who is giving you that encouragement, that thing which you will pursue on. So just love what you do. Yeah, like it may take some time to know what you should specialize on, but when you will know that this is what I wanted to do always, there you go.
Legacy is a little different. People will listen to you only if you have only name and fame. Nobody will listen to you if you are just an ordinary people. Okay, so even if you sharing any knowledge, they're like, who is she or who is he? Why they are sharing their experience? So I think I'm not yet there. I am work in progress.
I am not yet there.
Yeah.
Pass my legacy.
I'm work in progress. But still, I would like to lay out some groundwork there in terms of like whenever I meet people, especially the young girls, telling them or making them realize their true potential at the early age, and making sure they feel happy, what they would like to do. So as I said, I'm not trying to bridge the gap, but trying to push them to their own space where they can identify themselves, what they would like to do, and when or whichever that good time when I feel that people will listen to me, then I'll definitely try to pass on my legacy.
Yeah, I want to add something.
That's also another true thing, Indrani. Before, again, because I came from that platform, before I won the crown, I used to talk before too. And some days,
Nobody used to listen there?
nah, like they listen to us
Okay,
like,
can you please check my teeth? No, right, like you will go to the specialist. So like that, like when I started this business, photography, I used to take all the tasks, like event, wedding, everything. Oh, family portraits, oh yeah, call us, like we will be there. So the happiness was not there because I was not showing my actual thing. So I took a pause, like what actually I'm doing, like what should I do which will make me happy. Like I definitely want the reward from the customers, like they will say, oh wow, fantastic, like I loved working with you. So I was looking for that reward. So then during COVID, when the business was pretty down because everybody was back in home, but one thing was still on, newborn photography. So I started buying all the props. I started studying regarding newborn, like how should I approach and all. And just like it clicked, and now I'm specialized in newborn. So like it's like quality of work, like what you will show in your profile, like consistently you have to show good high quality images so that you can attract those clients, and that will help you to move forward for long run, right? So that what made me to approach correctly, and now I can say yes, I'm specialized in newborn. Like
That's your niche.
that is my niche, and people, they do see my work and they approach me, and like newborn, like few days old child, handling them, like I feel so good. And after the session, when they say, Indrani, thank you so much for handling my baby that good, like oh my god, you are so good, that is my reward. Like that is I always wanted, but I never knew that how to start with. I started with everything in photography, but landed up with this thing, which is my specialization now.
I would say, Anushmita, more than a failure, I would like to call it shortcomings. Having a full-time job, and every day I also have some hustle with every project I take on the weekends, and constantly asking the feedback from my clients and everything. It's also about it gives me very limited hours to promote and market my business. So even like I work with someone, I don't get time to put it on the social media driven world. I know I haven't put your pictures yet. I'm sorry. It's been so that's what it happened. Sometimes clients comes back and say, you put her pictures on Instagram, not mine. Why? You don't like me? So I think that's a shortcoming, and it's on me that I don't find time. And the another aspect of it, which society needs to work on a little bit, is that when we women gets a constant judgment, like when we are the entrepreneurs and we are pushing our limits and trying to thrive into this industry, maybe she's not taking care of her family. Why she's up and partying at 2 a.m. in the morning? Or, maybe she's not a good mom. Or, why she's doing it after her 40s. So I think if I would like to call that, that's a failure on the society, not on us. Because here, we are thriving, we are getting into our successful path, but you are the one with your mind. You are at failure, not us. So I would like to call that aspect too.
Yeah, like when I always get that question, like why you need to do this after your full-time job in Accenture. Like I work in Accenture. So they always ask like, why you need to do? That is the first question.
That's a very common question we all get.
Yeah.
We all get, right? Swati, you want to say something?
So when it comes to the failure, I just want to share my experience. So when I was young, like after completed my bachelor's degree, I was really dreaming to come to US. So I have attempted few interviews few times at the US consulate, and finally I got my US visa to study masters. And with so many dreams, and I came to US within a week. My father passed away. So once I get into the US, and my brother was also getting ready to go to UK. So and within like few days it happened, and my brother has spent all our money to pay tuition fees for both UK and US. And then in that moment, without thinking anything, I went back to India. And me or my brother and my mom, like we don't know what to do, like, but we both succeeded finally. So I just want to say, like, failure is not something like we failed, but it's some kind of situation make us to feel that we failed. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
Failure is necessary too.
Yes, that's really, yeah. So now we know what is the difference between failure and success.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's true. That's why I was trying to tell you, like, if you have to succeed, you have to fail.
Yeah.
Failing is really important. Don't fail the class though.
That's
Just-
what I tell
yeah.
my daughter. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay to get lower grades.
Lower grade, but
because
don't
that is how
fail,
you
yeah.
will have more enthusiasm to get.
You keep moving because the train is moving, right? You cannot stop. So, but jokes apart, you will fail. You have to fail. You have to fail. If you are not failing, you don't reach that height. And it is not only what we are saying, that's what the big entrepreneurs, they also say. They fail. I was listening to Alibaba owner. He said, it's a very funny thing. So he said, I failed so many times and it ridiculously I failed. Even I went to KFC job. There were 25 people who interviewed. 24 got the job. He did not.
Yeah.
That kind of failure he faced. He rejected from Harvard 10 times too. That's what he said. So failure in different areas, in different segments, right? But again, you have to fail to achieve something. And then I feel like we feel more proud. We overcame.
It's about the hard work behind it.
It
rather than-
always.
You have to kiss so many frogs to find your Prince Charming.
That's true, and here is our passion. It's our passion. I know we are already in the verge of finishing it. So quick, my failure. It was not my failure again. I came back from there after my school, 12th grade. Of course, fashion was my passion from the beginning. So I applied for the NIFT. If you don't know, NIFT is one of the highest fashion institute. I applied there because I wanted to do that. I didn't want to do the economics and statistics, and I didn't want to. I wanted to do fashion. And I wanted to study because I always believe if you study what your passion is, it gives you more credibility and more power. I did that, and then the application, I did not get any response. It was a couple of months and say, okay, maybe I was rejected. So I took economics and statistics and maths were my other subjects. So I was studying in the college. One day I saw top of a table where my dad and mom used to put, all those bills and everything. I got the acceptance letter from them And my dad, he actually cut it with a scissor in 4 pieces and put it there so that one day I will see it. Okay, it was a stigma, right? Like if you have to study well and then you have to get the job, right? Fashion designing, what is that? Dancing, I never went to dance school, but I used to dance since I was 4-year old on the stage. And now I choreograph too, I do all this choreography and stuff. And then, why? Because my dad said, oh, ladkiyan, naachte nahi hai, that you can sing, singing is okay. So you go on the stage, you can sing, but dancing, no. So that was not a failure, but that it hit hard.
As Rania said, it's like a shortcoming.
Shortcoming, right? So okay, I studied, I passed, and then I came to this industry. And I dance, people, for longest time they thought I'm just a dancer, not a fashion designer, nothing else. I just dance, right? I said no, I have other aspects. I went to the recitation. I used to win the trophies for the school. So there's so many other aspects. But this kind of stigma happened. But again, parents always think good for us. I always believe in that. But if you will believe a little bit more, then maybe we can do wonders. And you can, so that's another thing I also try to teach my kids. Whatever you want to do it. Of course, if it's a right way to do it, do it. If you will fail, that's fine. Maybe you will not earn like Alan Mask or something like that, so gold medal and everything, maybe not, but I want you to be happy and you will be successful one day. And you can see all of them over here. There are so many other entrepreneurs out there, so many women entrepreneurs out there who are much more successful than us, right? But it doesn't matter. It gives all of us happiness because we are pursuing our passion. So, concluding it, thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for being here.